There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hello and welcome back to Could It Be?
An Oak Island podcast.
We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Good morning.
Top of the morning to you.
We're recording very early.
Yes, that's
on a
why
Sunday
we're
morning.
a tiny bit late.
And we're here to talk about Season 8, Episode 10, Connecting the Lots. ... What connects the lots?
The dots.
The dots? Are you sure it's not this rocky road? Oh, man. Like, literally, I thought you were going to start singing, I love Rocky Road. So won't you go buy half a gallon, baby?
No, I don't really like Rocky Road.
Well, it's a Weird Al song.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
Literally, that's what I thought you were going to do that. I was so excited. All right.
You just can't hide it?
I just can't hide it. So, hello, everybody. We have
a lot to get through.
Yeah, a lot to get through. Don't go away at the end because we have something fun to share.
We do.
That's a sneak.
Maybe we had too much fun.
That's a little tease.
A sneaky tease.
Yeah, I just watched the what is it? The preview for next time on the Curse of Oak Island, and I think Rick Lagina began it saying, "Ooh, it's an Oak Island tease." Ooh. So that's like a Oak Island podcast tease. No? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, I'm checking the audio over here because it looks so low. Don't mind me. Hey, look, there I am.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, okay.
We're here.
Try that again.
We're here. All right. So, what's up, everybody? Let's talk connecting the lots. So, we start the episode in the swamp. Is that where we want to start our chat today?
You know what? Why not?
There's a lot going on in the swamp.
There's a lot going on in the swamp and the lot connecting. Where is my pen? I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind.
You don't need your pen. It's fine. Just move on. You can do it.
I don't know that I can. My OCD is showing.
Yeah, she likes to cross things off her list as she goes.
I have to cross things off my list so I know I don't miss anything. So hopefully we survive.
Just use a marker.
Ooh, a brown one.
A brown marker.
Hey, that seems fitting for the swamp.
There you go.
Okay.
The swamp and its brackish water, right?
Thank you for saving me.
That's what I do.
You saved me?
Well, when we first met, I was like Superman. I was Clark Kent.
When we first met, I should have never gotten the car with you because it was like midnight in a parking lot in downtown Portland. And I'm just glad
you're very naive, weren't you?
I didn't get killed at
I'm glad 19. You didn't either.
Yeah, that would have been terribly unfortunate.
Yeah. We wouldn't be here today. So we're here today. Anywho. All right, let's talk about this episode. It was a fun one.
It was.
Lots of stuff going on in the swamp. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on everywhere. So it opens up with Rick, Billy, and Laird talking about their plans in the swamp.
Yes.
And Rick says they have generated a general plan. And of course, Billy's very privy to the plan.
Yeah.
Knows what's going on.
He's basically the general.
Billy is the general of the general plan.
Yes, he is the commander.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one doing the heavy lifting.
The chief excavator.
Yes.
head of the excavator. Okay. And the plan is the Billy will trek into the swamp.
Yep.
And begin taking off the top layer of mud and muck on said feature.
And he does. So.
Yeah, of course he does. He does a lot of taking the top off the feature there.
Yeah. So Clotworthy kind of gives us a breakdown about the stone feature in the southeast corner of the swamp. What could be a wharf or a road?
Could it be?
I don't know. I think we've kind of really nailed down the road thing.
Yeah, I mean, for the next week on, we even get a shot of Jack going, "Look at the road we found!" And he's
who's he telling that to?
I don't know, but he's yelling it in pure excitement as he's standing on top of the rocks.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
You know what I think the most significant thing that happened in this episode is? Okay, besides Discovery stuff, which was good, Craig Tester coming back.
Oh my gosh.
To the island.
I cheered.
Yeah, me too. That was awesome.
That was
great. But maybe he was showing Craig the road. He's like, hey, look, the road. He's like, instead of what's
yeah,
remember
usually it's hey Mom, I'm on TV.
You probably don't remember this, but there was a show called Fantasy Island back in the day, and this little guy would say, the plane boss, the plane. And maybe he's like, the road boss, the road.
maybe, or he's related to Craig. So
well, that too.
Kind of like
real excited.
Hey, look! Yeah. I haven't seen you in forever, and there's a road that we found.
Yeah, but Craig has already been on the island multiple days. I find it hard to believe they didn't bump into Jack once.
So
anyway,
maybe Jack was busy being the Jack 6000 when
that's
Craig
what he does.
Was, or maybe he was uncovering the top of the road at Possibly. The time with his claws.
He is in there doing his scooping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So Rick says that his thought is to dig the trench, creating the distinction between the feature itself and the land proper. Mm-hmm. He tells Laird that they might want to indeed follow that line in case it does go up to the uplands. They might want to follow that to get some. Oh my gosh! To get some sense of orientation of the feature. Whoa!
You know, my sentences don't actually. They're bits and pieces of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got it.
You
don't
should
worry.
just. They're never actual sentences. Okay, just thought you should know.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the idea would be that because he's at that time, Rick is talking to Laird, and you know they're kind of projecting like, "Hey, what direction is this road or path gonna take?" Right? So we get like I may have even screen capped it, a picture of where they're projecting that this road is gonna go, and it's not really veering up towards the money pit at first, but Rick does say later it may kind of turn.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do you think? Do you think it turns or just goes straight up to the pine tar kiln?
Well, I'm thinking about the fact that there's got to be another road somewhere. So let's say that the Serpent Mound is spoils from the original money pit dig, right? And it's almost at the highest point on Oak Island. So why would you carry spoils that are uphill. So heavy uphill, right? Unless there's you have the oxen, but you don't want to wear out your animals so quickly.
Yeah.
And those are really big stones up there. You know, so maybe you got something with like a grade. They're doing some grading. I don't know. So my thought with the other road is the one we found in the swamp, what is it going to be used for, right? What's its what's its goal?
And what's your goal?
Is it going to go straight, or are they going to be looking for the path of least resistance in order to save energy? Or is whatever coming downhill, or is our primary focus taking something heavy downhill? So then if that's the case, you would want it to be a straight line.
But treasure, it's heavy going uphill then.
That's what we want, right? Yeah. But let's think about that.
I'll put it away in a little corner of my mind and stew on it for a little bit.
Just put that in your cap.
I'll percolate on it.
Yeah, percolate on it. There's got to be another road.
Does there have to be?
Yes.
Okay.
I really think there is.
Well, they built one.
I think there's got to be a loop.
They built one at the bottom part of that the swamp, right? Oh, I'm talking modern. My bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got to be talking about the modern road unless, we're wondering, does the road go out further into past the modern road? I don't know.
Yeah, don't know. Anywho,
back off my tangent.
Back to the situation at the swamp, okay?
The situation at hand.
Aaron, Jack, Gary, Steve, we're all there. We don't hear Steve at all. We just see his prison pole of truth, right?
Yeah, you get the overhead shot and you just see.
Oh, you're like, that Steve's there.
Oh yeah, he's literally got a honing beacon. Like you can find Steve anywhere.
Yeah. So Laird and Aaron are kind of overseeing what's going on in the swamp. They do get they get like this overhead drone shot, and there's like this L-shaped like pit of despair.
Yeah.
They don't even mention it, but it looks like it's a bottomless pit.
And it's like roped off so no one falls in.
Yeah. But we were watching it together, and Peter's like, pause
every time
to look at it. Every like frame almost.
That's a real problem.
Yeah, and it appears like it's like full of water.
It's definitely full of water. You can see a reflection of the tree by it reflecting in.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What is it?
I don't know. I have questions that need answers. Could it be?
Everybody does.
I know.
But you know what? They get some answers in this episode later on. Even Dr. Aaron Taylor is like, hey, I got some answers for you. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get there. But like, hey,
I want to talk to Aaron.
We might get your some
just
answers.
Hold your oxen.
Yeah. And your ox shoes.
And their nails.
Yeah. So Jack jumps down into this
Jack jumps?
Yeah, Jack jumps.
What about jumping jacks?
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
How about Jack's jumping beans?
Yeah. Anyway, he jumps down. It's almost like he has jumping beans in his system.
I know.
He's like
Jack attack.
Dig.
That's right? What he likes to do.
Yeah. Aaron joins him and uses his trowel, points out some wood that they found beneath the rocks. Wood beneath the rocks? Isn't that exactly what Dr. Spooner is always looking for? Like wood trapped by rocks?
That's true. This is very deliberately placed.
Oh, yes.
Wood.
Yeah, the wood that Dr. Spooner found that was dated to like 1200 or whatever in the paved stone area of the swamp is much different because it was like accidentally laid between these stones, but it was like a little time capsule.
But it's like this stuff, another paved stone area.
Yeah, this other place is a different paved stone area, but the wood is beneath the rocks. And this really impressed like Aaron Taylor, especially. You know, I'm sure it impressed everybody.
Me. I haven't done any research on ROADs and
and cribbing.
And you know, when you play Settlers of Catan, now that I'm thinking about it, in order to get a road, you have to have brick and wood.
You do.
Even they knew that's how you made a road.
Do they actually call it brick and wood in the game? Isn't it like brick and like forest?
Brick and timber.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tree.
Yeah. I get
But like even they knew that you had to have cribbing and that's a board game.
It's a board game.
And it carries over to Oak Island. Actually, Catan is all on an island. I bet you the creators of the game know the mystery. Solved it,
sure. All right, Aaron says that he's excited because they see this, you know, he calls it cribbing, right? So it's like a support underneath this rocky road. It's funny that I say that because next week's episode is actually called Rocky Road. And they found this post that was running horizontally, you know, along this stone pathway road. It was really cool, amazing to see because it was purposefully put there by humans a long time ago.
And there's no way that it wasn't. I love that with this particular stone structure, they've really been able, it's like, you know, they get the profile. They're really going to be able to see how this was constructed, what it's made of. We've got the archaeologists in there, all of them. We've got the trial team in, and they're going to be able to take it down all the way, right? Archaeology, like Laird has told us, is a deconstructive process. That's why we take so many pictures, take it apart. So eventually we're going to be able to take apart part of this road, right? And they're probably going to be able to date that wood. And Aaron's pointing out how it's got to be like a cribbing because you've got a horizontal piece, and running between them, which we don't have to, but I'm going to assume there's another two set of horizontal posts on the other side, and running between them is going to be another post, right? And that is going to help support these really heavy stones and kind of dissipate the weight so they don't just sink in. I kind of think of it as like a wood sandwich underneath. You know, you got your bread, and then you got your turkey in the middle.
Oh, I was going to say like Oreo cream filling.
Ugh.
And then you have the chocolate pieces of Oreos or the wood. Anywho, yeah.
I was really excited. about it.
Yeah.
It's something
very cool.
that we see a little bit. I don't think I put this in the notes, but like at the very end of the episode, when they're walking away from the swamp, I had noticed Billy behind people were picking up like a giant log with his excavator. You just see it come up behind like Rick and Aaron. I think it was, yeah. And it looks like he's pulling out one of the logs from the cribbing. Like maybe they had taken it apart and it was for the next week. But then you also see just this quick flash of Rick and Steve carrying out like a tree.
Yeah.
Almost an entire tree worth of post or whatever. I'm thinking, are they taking apart the road? And is no one going to say, why is Rick and Steve carrying a tree out of the swamp? This thing's huge.
Nope, we're not going to mention it.
Well,
said it didn't happen.
I screen capped it because I have questions. Not that I'll get the answers.
Well, you know what they're going to do. Dendrochronology, baby.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Are they walking over to send it off for Dendro? I got to know these
likely things. Yeah. Yes.
Anywho, you know, they make fun of us for our anywho's now. I think there's like a drinking game going on.
I don't say it.
You say it. No, you say it all. I think I counted 4 times this morning before we got onto the podcast that you said it.
You know, I probably got it from you. You're a bad influence.
Well, I am a bad influence. I'm actually known as the instigator among friends. But anywho.
All right, let's go on.
I've got a lot of tangents. I'm so sorry. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Yeah. Where was I? Okay, we were talking about the cribbing. And we get kind of like an interview with Rick where he's pointing out that in order to gather all of these materials, like that alone would have been a lot of work.
It would have been a lot of work.
A lot of work, a lot of people, a lot of
to just set it up. And then, you know, I just want to know like what they used it for. Like I really want to know what they used it for. And hopefully with Gary out there doing some metal detecting, they'll be able to find some artifacts and we'll get a real good idea. Like they found some artifacts already.
Well, and Rick points out on top of the amount of people and materials, and you know, you have to have someone that's gonna make an engineering type of analysis that, you know, peat moss and some type of cribbing in addition to these rocks is gonna be your best fit in order to, so it's just this huge undertaking. And I've seen many people say, why use like stones if like it would tear up the oxen shoes and stuff? Like no wonder they threw shoes all the time.
Yeah, you know, I bet you it was like filled in with like, you know, packed dirt or something in between, so it was kind of smooth. You know, that's not, you know, the packed dirt would get washed away over the centuries, or you know, actually got packed back in, didn't it? And they've been tearing it down below the layer where it would have been all smooth and flat.
Yeah, and I'm sure the peat material that's in the swamp would have filled in really nicely and kind of held itself. Our archaeologists are going to be pulling off that, right?
Yep.
Which makes sense.
Archaeology is a destructive process.
It is. That's right. That's why we take pictures. But I was also thinking, if you build the entire road out of wood, you're going to be chopping down a lot of trees. Which is going to be kind of noticeable when, you know, you're working on the island, and if you're getting all this wood from right there, and then you're just drawing really attention to what you're doing. So I think the rocks actually help conceal what you're doing and not draw attention to it. And if they were stonemasons, that is likely the type of work they were really good at and knew how to build roads with stones, right? We got the Rockmeister Rick. He prefers probably making stone walls.
He's made thousands of feet of them. Yeah. So if you could do something really quickly
with stones and effectively, and you knew that, you'd probably use that versus trying to find people or yourself learn something brand new to put down a road. Right? Right.
I'm with you.
Okay. I really am in tangent mode this morning. That's probably what happens when you get me up this early. Actually, I'm up this early a lot anymore. What am I saying?
All right. So Aaron just really wants to know if this, feature moves into the upland, right? That's like his primary focus at this point, because you get that, you'll get more answers.
Yeah. That piece where we go from swamp to the ground proper.
Yep. And he thinks he kind of finds that. He's looking under there. Hey, this is basically where the rubber meets the road. Or where the road meets the upland.
Yeah, they're asking Billy to pull some more of that off the top. And as you hear Laird go, Aaron. Like he sounds really worried because Billy, he's pulling some back and you hear.
Yeah, and what was that big thing that Billy scraped over the top? Was that a giant rock or is that
No, he was pulling back and it looked like he caught a tooth on a piece of wood. And Aaron's like, whoa! And he comes running, checks it out, and it's exactly what they're looking for. It's the point in which we are going from swamp to upland to land, which is exciting.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happens in that first little instance of hanging out in the swamp. You want to continue at the swamp?
Yes, even though at this point, Aaron's like, hey, I need to go check on the serpent mound.
I just love that they call it the serpent mound. Like, that's just what it's called, even though it's not, like, confirmed. I mean, what else are they going to call it? I know. It's cool.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I still kind of hope it is a serpent mound. That'd be fun. That'd be like, well, what the heck next can the island throw at us?
Let's say if it's the spoils from the money pit and you're dumping them out of oxen cart, right? You wouldn't keep piling them up. You'd dump it like next to each other. Or if you want to create a diversion, you're like, hey, let's do something that's blatantly out here in the open and people are going to be like, whoa. And then it's their diversion, right? That's why pirates have been known to say
you're sneaky.
You're gonna come up with lore that keeps people away from your treasure.
Maybe like there's a curse,
like like an island that doesn't exist, like there's something in the directions that are wrong, but unless you know the key what that really means, then you can't find the treasure. So I'm thinking Serpent Mound could have been a diversion. It's a good way to hide and distract people following you in plain sight. That's all I'm saying.
Could be.
And it's not like you can dig a hole. You know how hard it is to dig a hole and get everything to fit back in to that hole?
Yeah.
It takes a while for it to settle and get in.
Yep.
It's just
really
not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why. So like you do the experiment with the jar where it's got a bunch of rocks and it's filled in with dirt and all this stuff, and then it's near impossible to get everything back in. But if you put in like you can't put the dirt in first, you have to put the rocks, then you put in the dirt and everything has to shimmy between. So
like when Deidre and I did our first dig in Golden Gate Park for the secret, we dug a big hole. We put as much dirt back in as we could, and the ranger comes over and says, hey, there's a little bit of dirt left over. You need to make sure that all gets in there. And we're like, well, we kind of tried, man. We
got it packed.
I think he wasn't familiar with what happens with dirtage.
Well, yeah, especially when you've turned it up.
Yeah, because we put the grass back on top, nice and neat, but there was still a bit of dirt left on our tarp, and we kind of just sprinkled it on top, because that's what you have to do. You can't get every bit back inside. And that was a small hole. We're not talking 150, 200 foot deep or whatever this ends up being.
Well, and even throwing that back a bit further, let's think about Dunfield digging his giant hole. That's why people wonder about where all of his spoils went. There's no way, even with a hole that big, and let's say you put all the dirt back in, it would still be a giant there would still be a mound, even with the settling over the years.
Well, that's why the elevation in the money pits changed.
Exactly. So. And that's why there seemed to be an indentation in the ground of where the original money pit is, because if you dig a hole, even with the cribbing, say that they put in there to help support it,
things are going to start sagging over the years.
Yeah, it's going to start settling in.
Yep.
It's Makes a depression in the ground. It's just, it's called science.
Yeah, and nature.
And yeah, but
well, I guess
nature science. Hello.
Yeah. All right, so
tangent over.
Later on, we do come back to the swamp. We have Jack, Laird, Gary, and Billy doing some digging and doing some, metal detecting, doing all this stuff, right? Gary says that they have a good plan in place, and Billy is just scraping the surface, mud, and getting the feature, cleaner.
Yep.
Like, as far as so you can see what it is. And they do a good job. Like, I mean, when they do those drone shots, you're just like, whoa, what else can that be?
Man,
it's
those
a freaking road, yo.
Are amazing.
Yeah, pretty.
Like, I love the other stone paved area, but this is intense.
Yeah, it is.
Because of how they discovered it and how they've been able to uncover it. A little different.
For sure. All right, so Gary's like, hey, we're going to hit the mother lode with artifacts here. Let's go do it. And so he starts detecting. He does get a hit in the spoils pile, and he yells, it's an old coin.
And Jack literally comes running. Like, he is stoked. He practically throws his shovel.
That's a little bit of a departure from last episode, because when he saw a coin, he, like, jumped away. He's, like, backing up, almost falling over himself, getting away from it.
Because he saw it first and he was about to dig it up and he's like, like it came at him.
Yeah.
It was pretty hardcore. Yeah. He didn't want to miss a moment of whatever this was.
Yeah. So Gary finds this old coin. He says that it looks like an old copper coin. He shows it to Laird, Jack, Rick, and Scott. And Rick says that he's heard all the excitement from Gary, and came running.
Gary must have been pretty loud.
Well, even Marty talks about how when Gary gets excited about finding a coin, he's like, I can't even like get that excited.
I know. He can't even fake his excitement.
Yeah. So, I mean, I bet a lot of it is Gary is well aware of all the cameras around, and he knows that kind of thing needs to be really captured.
But I truly think, that is, based off of interviews we've done, they say, he's just a very excitable guy.
Yeah, but
so is Jack.
Okay, when he finds stuff on the beach in Florida, is he like sitting there screaming, woohoo, top pocket find, baby, and stuff like that? I don't think so.
I bet you he did when he found that Spanish coin.
You mean the ring?
Yeah, that's what I meant, the Spanish ring. But in Florida, so he's always pulling stuff up there, right? So it's a little bit of being desensitized because you're used to finding the Rolex watch that someone lost in the sand or
man,
whatever.
I wish that I had that problem. I was just like so used to finding treasure that I'm just like, meh. I mean, that's cool, but meh. Just another day on the job, brush your.
For him, and we've heard him say this before, is that on Oak Island, you literally have no idea what you're gonna get from where or when or
what era.
Yeah, I mean, anything from an ox shoe to a spike to a coin, like it's stuff that doesn't belong there. So to him, it's just like,
what to do in there?
Whoa.
Yeah. So Rick asks how old the coin is, and Gary says probably late 1600s, early 1700s, and it came out of the dirt that
from the fill dirt.
Yeah, from the stone feature area. So literally, that's where we're looking. Like that's where stuff will be dropped in between. Like.
He expected this to be the mother lode anyways.
And it's going to be. So, yeah, they're going to find a lot in this area, I think. Rick points out the 1652 Spanish coin.
Yeah, the Mervedi coin.
Yeah, it's the one they found at the end of season 1. It had a date of 1652. I mean, could it be related?
Could it be? It was found in a mound just, kind of over in that area.
Yep. But they had, like, literally, that was a long time ago. They had no idea that this road existed.
Isn't that crazy?
Dan Blankenship had no idea this road existed.
Nobody did. There's no records.
Fred Nolan had no idea this road existed on his property in the swamp. Like, what? And it's a major feature.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised we haven't seen Tom out there, actually.
Well, maybe he's
busy trying to get whatever part to fix the hydraulic line.
Yeah, he was out there, wasn't he? So, yeah, I don't know.
I still want to know what was going on with that.
Maybe he's on business somewhere. He's a busy guy.
I bet he is.
Don't know. But Gary said they should get a coin expert to take a look, right? And they'll get it cleaned up. They'll tell him where it came from, basically. So he says it looks like an old colonial copper coin. So yep. So good stuff.
Yeah, Rick points out the hope is that it would coincide with whatever this stone feature is, right? So hopefully this is going to continue to help with the dating. I mean, we're going to be looking for twigs between rocks, and sometimes there's an artifact between rocks.
Hopefully they find hopefully they're able to clean it off, and they're like, whoa, this is from 1400, 1500. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
That'd be amazing.
And then so Gary gets back to work metal detecting.
Of course. And
that's right on top of the stone pathway, which is actually covered with dirt, kind of like we were talking about earlier. And
what do you find?
He gets a hit and has Jack start digging, and he digs in, and Laird's, kind of looking on. And
what you doing there, Gary?
Yeah. And
yeah, Gary, wasn't he like, hey, mind the rocks.
Yeah. Well, deal. Jack puts it, he goes, I think it might be part of the structure. He's like, yeah, avoid getting into rock if you can.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything from that. But what was interesting, it was, a tiny piece of iron, and it was an ox shoe nail, which we have found ox shoes further up this potential path, right? Yep. So
leading on to lot 15. Yeah. Lots of ox shoes, and now they're finding a nail in the spoils of the part that leads into the swamp itself. I mean, what does that tell you? It tells you that there is a well-worn path right here where they had to use beasts of burden to...
Beasts of burden?
Yeah.
Hashtag that one.
They had to use beasts of burden to haul this stuff back and forth. I mean, it's no... you're not just doing like a shopping cart's worth of stuff. You're doing big old
treasure troves of
mounds of treasure. Yes,
mounds of it. That's why sometimes it kind of falls out of the cart there. A little shimmy and a shake will knock it right on off.
All right, so then we kind of leave the swamp, but we do come back, right?
But we're back again.
Yeah, so we have Laird, Charles, Aaron, Scott, Gary, Rick, and Billy.
The swamp war table?
The swamp table?
The swamp table?
Yeah, it I don't know. It looks like a spoils, like a wash table, but for the swamp, right? Yeah. And so you do see an overhead shot of the feature in the swamp. It's super duper impressive.
Yeah.
And Aaron says that they've been able to get some answers.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he is pretty happy with that and how the day went. And it's like, whoa. You're talking Oak Island. You're talking answers, Aaron?
Like, yeah. Are you new here?
Why didn't they make a bigger deal about that? Or were they just like, yeah, you're kind of...
Slow your roll, man.
Yeah, you're kind of new here, bro.
He's like, no, these are...
No, he was excited.
Yeah, he was definitely excited. And I don't blame him. And he was feeling very good about the progress that they made that day. Yeah. And Rick is telling them that, hey, my brother's really not up to speed here.
Yeah, let's get Marty on the line, right? And so he calls Marty, and it's like, hey, little brother. And Marty's like, what up, big brother?
What up?
Okay, it doesn't quite say that.
No, I don't. The slang, not really a thing for Rick. I don't think Rick would know any slang. He knows very elegant words.
He is very elegant. He is very eloquent.
Eloquent. That's a very good
description.
Word for it. Yeah.
He's from another era.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rick goes on to say, when you're looking at the stone feature, it is remarkable. It's huge. It's out of place. We're asking, what is it doing here? Why was this structure even needed? It's impossible, almost impossible, to put yourself back 300 to 400 years And it begs answering these types of questions. But we've got to uncover more of the road to find out exactly where it's going. Mm-hmm. And that's what we were talking about. Does it kind of veer off of what the line currently looks like it's doing? Because if you take the trajectory yep. of where it's currently going, it looks like it's going to go past, like, kind of angle away from Money Pit or the Pine Tar Kiln, just like if we were to draw a straight line. It probably curves.
Guess what? They're going to find out.
We will find out.
We got a rocky road next week, right?
Yes, we do.
They're going to... I'm so glad that they put so much effort into this area. It's really cool.
It is really cool.
I mean, it tells some stories that they didn't know the answers to before. They didn't even know the questions to these.
The questions to ask, because there were answers.
There was nothing. So, pretty cool. All right. So, Rick says, hey, Aaron, here's the phone. Tell Marty what you got going, right?
Let's get him up to speed. Yeah. And he takes him on they all take Rick. They all take Marty on a little walk.
On a journey. On a walkabout through the swamp.
Yes.
Right? Marty is very excited. He says that he is super interested. He looks really impressed, throughout this whole little presentation. It's too bad he couldn't be there in person that day. He probably had some, now that Craig's on the island, I mean, maybe he's like, now I have so much more work to do because, I don't have Craig there just taking care of everything.
Yeah, they probably I was going to say high-fived on the way through, but I doubt it.
Elbow bump.
Yeah, they elbow bumped on the way through because, someone's probably, especially with this day and age, you got to do the back and forth and the quarantining.
No, I don't think he left.
You don't think he left?
No.
I didn't think he was on the island, but he might be.
I think he's in his quarantine house, but I mean, that's that's near the island.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anywho, Aaron starts showing Marty, the stones. He, shows him just what they've been up to, right?
Marty is gobsmacked.
He is. He even says it.
He even says that he's gobsmacked, and he's amazed because no searcher has ever mentioned this road.
Yeah.
And that
just boggles my mind because people have been searching this island since 1795. Not every one of them kept really good notes, good records. So maybe they found something, but I kind of doubt it. Like it seems like this has been a mystery forever, or like this. It wasn't even a mystery because it was unknown.
Well, especially considering its condition.
Yeah, it's like
it doesn't look like it's been disturbed.
No, and it's been covered in the brackish water of the swamp, so it's been preserved.
Yep.
So pretty cool.
Marty in his little interview segment says it could lead to where the treasure is buried, or to a set of significant clues, like maybe a staging area or something like that related to it. It could be the biggest clue they've discovered this year. And that's a great way to put it with these discoveries, it being a clue. And spot on.
Yep, and he says that Rick says that he's glad that they stayed the course, and he has always thought the swamp was the keeper of secrets. And we're like, wait a second, I thought Charles was.
Charles was keeper of secrets, but Corey and Chris say that Poussin is keeper of secrets. Not everybody gets to have that title, guys. Unless it's like the secret team.
Hey, we said it first, so it's Charles. Charles. We staked that claim on Charles Barkhouse, keeper of secrets. Sorry, guys, but
not sorry.
Whatever. Yeah. So Marty's response was like what he kind of capped it off with was the best thing ever. Like it was probably the funniest part of the episode.
Probably.
What was it?
So Marty says, I remember clearly when you wanted to quit on the swamp, and I said, Rick. No way.
Marty. That's funny
it's
stuff.
It's a good thing your adventures have been filmed.
Yeah, right.
We know.
So a lot happened in the swamp this episode.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of wrapping up the swamp for our chat. But wow, I mean, I love it. There's so much going on, so much fun, and so many discoveries. Like if you're there doing it all, it probably hurts your head a little bit. Like, what What'd they find?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, it's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's just it's bananas.
All right, so we do some stuff in the money pit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's chat about Terry, the keeper of secrets, Charles.
Yep.
Scott Barlow hanging out at the table, waiting for some spoiled sausage to be put on.
Spoiled sausage.
Ew. Okay, how about some choice sausage we put on the table?
Choice sausage. We're talking top of the line here.
Choice.
Okay, they're currently in hole F.25-9.75. Okay.
I'd say what?
I paused. It was like, Jigga what? Because I've been following along with their grids, right? So I understand I've got to get my grid that I've made from all the screen caps of like what they go off of and share it, because
it's impressive.
If I can just get it overlaid properly, then anyways. But we have where all the different locations are. So they have a grid that breaks up the money pit, and we name them based off that grid. Okay, it's like an engineering grid. You have A through whatever. I think it's like A through J, and then they have your numbers, right? So it's like bingo, B1 or whatever. What in the world? Like, I get D11, I get whatever 5.5, but F.25 dash 9.75. I mean, to me, that says we're looking at section F, and then I'm going over 0.25. But that means I'd be at the 0, which means the grid maybe wasn't big enough in the first place. And then shouldn't we be going into negative numbers? And then there's no way the borehole is big enough to go all the way out to 9.75. I have questions. I need answers.
Okay, what if it's 0.25 and negative 9.75?
I get that. But that's not what was said. That makes sense to me, because if we're going off 0 and then the end of their line is 10.
Calm down. Look, they know what they're talking about, and the guys standing there with them are like, they're actually working. Okay, they're not trying to put on a TV show. And people might think the show is scripted. Okay,
it's not.
Okay, it's not a scripted show. It's not a scripted anything. They're out there doing the work, and there happens to be camera people capturing it all. They're not going to say blah blah blah. I'm surprised they go through all the effort to say all those numbers when they could just say, okay, borehole that's in F
whatever
point F9 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they needed to say.
Okay. But for those of us that like to follow along and know exactly where the borehole is going down, like, I understand the naming because I get the grid. I've been following along on my engineering grid, and this doesn't fit. What? And I haven't, this whole number, it's a real problem for me.
Calm down. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. We're people that just get to enjoy watching them do what they do. Okay,
it's harder
we're not on the island to work
when I don't understand this borehole number.
You know what? It's like the mystery of how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll, center of a Tootsie Pop. The world may never know.
Oh, I will know. I will find out. I may have to go to the island and beg everybody to tell me.
Call Terry Matheson. He'll let you know.
Yeah, because I have his number on speed dial.
Anywho, so they get the choice sausage, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your rant is over. Thank you. Right?
Yes. This hole in particular lands between RF1 and OC1.
That's right.
Okay. Those are important holes. And this hole, OC1, by the way, OC1, it's there. All these things make sense.
Yeah.
But not this hole.
It's going to give you nightmares, isn't it?
I am having nightmares since Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm crying.
I'll give you a hug when we're done, okay? It's okay. All right, so they get the choice sausage on the table. Terry calls this one an anaconda. It looks like a giant snake. So that's pretty funny.
Like, whoa.
So this one in particular is like, what? It's like 30 feet long. So
yeah,
that's a giant anaconda. It's no longer a sausage.
It's not a sausage. It's a choice anaconda.
Yeah, so it's between 178 feet and 208.5 feet.
78?
178. Didn't I say 178? 178 feet depth to 208 foot depth. Right?
Yes.
And Terry finds it interesting, but it doesn't really seem to have a debris field in it.
Mm-hmm. So and they were thinking because they were so close to those spots.
Yeah, and it's kind of disappointing, but you know what? They're really positive out there. They're like, next hole. Let's go to the next hole and see what it brings us. Because they have a lot of proposed little dig sites there left.
It's systematic.
It is systematic.
That we gotta stick to the system.
Yep. So Scott has a nice little quip here at the end. What does he say?
She gets to keep her secret one more day. And I was like, ooh, Scott, that was deep.
It was deep.
Like the borehole.
Yes.
Very much like the borehole's not deep enough.
Yep. All right. So you know what? We kind of, I don't know. Do we need to go to the war room here?
That's what I'm thinking, because this is where Craig is back.
Craig makes his triumphant return to Oak Island.
And I go, yeah!
And he's out there hanging out with Doug, right?
Yep. Rick, Spooner, and Doug are in the war room. Craig's back for the first time. He just did his 14-day quarantine. And he's like, Craig's like, I guess no handshakes.
Nope.
That's gotta feel really weird walking into the war room like that for the first time with such a weird.
Well, they're a family, right?
Yeah.
It's a fellowship of the dig. They're all used to like handshakes and hugs.
Yeah, and that I get it.
Yeah. So Craig just says it's very good to be back, and I don't know. I was really happy to see Craig in the war room. I'm glad to see him on the island. Like literally, we said it earlier. As soon as he showed up, Deidre cheered.
I did. You know? I heart Craig.
Yeah, he's great.
Hearts for Craig.
Sure.
Him and Scott can share hearts.
He can share his hearts.
Isn't Scott Barlow Appreciation Day coming up?
Pretty soon.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Let's see here. So Craig says it's really different this time. You know, he's been gone for so long, and he's not usually the type of person, like when it comes to vacation or anything, where he gets excited until he's like there. He doesn't like get that anticipation, but this time he was more excited to get here, you know, kind of the anticipation because they'd been gone for so long. And then he gets here and then you're straight into 2 weeks of quarantine. So the poor guy is like, you know, going crazy, but he said he got a lot of work done.
I wonder if like when he was getting ready to come to the island, you know, because he says he doesn't get excited until he's like already going. Maybe he probably wasn't, you know, excited or anything, but yeah, when you're cooped up for 2 weeks and all that is building in you, man, he's ready to just like make it explode onto the island. Like all of his excitement, all of his energy, he's just gonna go out there and make things happen.
Well, he said he was just more excited even before he got there.
Yeah.
And so you're already more excited, which he's not used to, and he's been gone longer than usual. And then he's in quarantine, and he's going over, since he knows work's going on the island, and he's definitely put a lot of work into the money pit, he's able to really pour over the data while he's in quarantine and reanalyze the plan that they have set up with the boreholes and with drilling and all that.
Yep, he's been busy.
Yeah.
He's always busy, and he's always going over the numbers. Hard data guy.
Definitely.
All right, so he says that he's been reviewing what they have found and is eager to get drilling and really eager to take a look at that swamp. You know, and I would be too with what they're finding out there. Doug fills the guys in that are at the war room around the table, the status of drilling right now out in the money pit.
Yep. They've done 21 holes around the RF1, OC1
21 area. Of those 6-inch micro boreholes.
Yeah,
and that's got to be.
We've only seen a handful of them.
I know, but like every time they do one, they're hoping, you know, when they get down to the between 150 and 200 feet, they're like, yes, it's going to be this time. And that's got to be a lot of disappointment.
It is. Terry has to be tired.
Yeah, but they're always optimistic. Next hole, right?
Where if we're pulling data, then we're moving forward, right? And that's kind of the big thing.
Yeah, Doug says that he's personally interested in the spot Craig is interested in over by OC1. So Craig is eager and encouraged to keep looking in this area. He looked at the wells in this area a lot, right? And there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the 150 to 165 foot zone. So
consistently, it sounds like with the ones that they've pulled, that's kind of the sweet spot that I assume is where he's seeing, weird things such as like the darkening of the material. And we learn later as to why that happens. But
isn't that cool that we get to learn all that stuff too?
Yeah.
Did you know what dendrochronology was before last year?
No.
Or a year and a half ago or whatever?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, we got to learn all this cool stuff. And
Lots of learning.
And now the word dendrochronology is in our vocabulary. So it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
All right, Rick asks Craig, do you have a grid set up?
So looks like Craig's like, I got a new plan. But he's pulling out one which is essentially their exact same old plan. But I think maybe he's added some extra holes.
Cool.
He asked them to jump on E12 first. E12, you know what that is?
What?
That's on the grid system. It makes sense. I bet you it's over by F.25-9.75.
Oh, EF.
Yeah, but 0.25. I'm going to lose my mind.
They probably did that on purpose just to make people like you fly off the handle.
Yeah. I'm going to screenshot that and I'm going to send it to every cast member and say, please explain yourself.
No. If you did that, I thank you because it's funny.
You're such a jerk.
Yep. All right. So, yeah, they're going to look at that E12 area. And that's cool. And, they found that wood at about 150 feet in OC1, right? And that was dated to 1706.
Yes.
And they're hammering that into us for a reason, like that number, 1706. You remember that stone that the Restalls found? It said 1704. I mean, with these kind of dates, it doesn't seem too far-fetched that could have been something left behind by somebody. Because for a long time, I just said, somebody either just scraped that rock and like placed it there so that someone would find it and think it's a big find. I thought it was like a prank. Basically.
You thought it was a decoy, like the Serpent Mound?
Or just like a prank, or like someone just deliberately trying to disrupt what's going on the island, kind of like the guy that said that he throws coins around and hopes that Gary finds them on the show. That jerk. Sorry, dude, you're a jerk. Like legit.
That is a jerk move.
Yeah. If I saw somebody do that on the island and I was there, oh my gosh.
Would you push him in the swamp?
I don't know. I
might roll him around in the brackish water. I would be so ticked. I'm not a violent person, but it might come to fisticuffs. I'd put that guy in a headlock. I'm a big dude. There's that giant hole full of water over in the swamp, the pit of despair. Yeah. Oops.
I just, that really burns my biscuit. Like, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of someone doing that. And nobody likes a burned biscuit. I don't like the idea of somebody doing that. And that's kind of what I suspected the 1704 rock was, because it's like a little too perfect, a little too on the nose, But I don't know. These other dates like are really hitting that area.
Wonder no more.
So, yeah.
Wonder no more.
All right, Robert Clotworthy kind of gives us a breakdown and a review of what the chapel vault is. Something we're a little familiar with. We've heard it a couple times. And Clotworthy mentions that Craig hopes that this new grid will aid in the drilling to the chapel vault.
Right, and we've been chasing it, thinking that it's been moved around by the solution channel, right? Doug says he has checked the records, and he has nothing indicating that a searcher channel that deep would be there. So the question really is, what is it? Is it like the early searchers that didn't have records, or are we talking depositor? What are we looking at here? Are we talking flood tunnel? And he's hoping Craig's drill program, after he's analyzed everything, will bring something new to the table.
Yes.
Yep,
well, Craig is back with a vengeance. That's all this really
Get
means.
It, Craig.
He is going to get it.
Craig.
Yes.
The Craigmeister.
The Craigmeister.
Yeah, the Craigmeister. I like that. Instead of the Rockmeister for Rick, we got just the Craigmeister, bringing the Craig energy.
All right, so we go back to the money pit.
We might as well.
This time Craig goes to the money pit, and he's like, Terry, what up? Gives him an elbow bump.
This feels like a children's book. Craig goes to the money pit.
Maybe that's the next chapter of Annie Goes to Oak Island.
I like it.
Follows Craig around the money pit and over to the swamp.
I like
and
it.
then back to the war room to discuss his numbers. And he has that little smirk on his face, that where he's trying to hide. I'm not excited. I'm really excited. Face.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. So, he's with Terry and the Keeper of Secrets, Charles. Right? Mm-hmm. Craig goes on to talk about how how he was thinking about the tunnel they found before in, what was that, OC1, right?
Yes.
And, or actually, in this, what they were drilling, and if it was a flood tunnel down there, mm-hmm. or if it was a tunnel leading off to a vault or something, mm-hmm. not OC1.
Yeah, because he just kind of keeps thinking about it and speculating.
Well, that's what the guy does. He's one of the great minds of our time.
He definitely is, and especially since he's seen a lot of these wells are coming up at the same depth is where we're getting that weird stuff going on. Makes sense.
It makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Charles chimes in and says that it would be a great explanation because there is nothing in the historical records of a tunnel in that area, and that's far too deep for the early searchers. And
I agree, Charles. Well, I agree.
If Charles is telling you, you better agree. He's like the guy. He's like the
encyclopedia of Oak Island.
I was gonna say he's the Eye of Providence of Oak Island.
Providence.
He's the all-seeing eye.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He knows it all.
Yeah.
He knows more than anybody else. He just lets his secrets go little by little. Doesn't let people get too deep and too
sneaky.
Close
Charles, yeah. Sneaky. Craig just says there's a lot of weird stuff going on in that northeast corner. Mm-hmm. I agree. A
lot of strange stuff. 1706 wood came out of there. So,
mm-hmm.
Terry said that it would sure be nice to see a few chunks of wood in this next section of 139 to 149. Mm-hmm. He also always talks about, or a few, chunks of like a chest or some treasure just
gold,
popping up.
A little Bobby Dazzler, something.
He's all in. He really wants there to be some treasure coming up in one of these choice sauces.
Yeah, that next section, 139 to 149, we're almost in that sweet zone of the 150. But this is definitely a point of interest, if you will.
Yep. It is. So they open it up, take a look, and see they see some
limestone, a little bit of plastic clay, some cobbles, mm-hmm. but unfortunately no wood interspersed among it.
Man, they were finding so much wood before.
Mm-hmm.
They find it with the big 8 foot wide cans, but like when you're just doing 6 inches at a time, you miss it by an inch.
Mm-hmm. Off by a mile.
That's right.
And we find out that the next hole, which I like much better than
E12.
Well, I was going to say F.25-9.75. I will never forget that, but
good. That's it's too bad they didn't pull treasure up from that one because then it would have been.
No, I don't like that one.
It would have been like.
I like D11.
An historic borehole.
It starts with a D, which is my
D11,
D for Deidre.
I thought since Craig was back, he was going to put his foot down and be like, "No, you're doing E12 next."
Isn't that what they're drilling here?
Oh, you said D11.
No, D11's the next one after this.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure they're doing E12.
Gotcha. Probably, yeah. Makes sense.
Which makes sense why they would move over to D11 is not far away. See, when we stick to the grid numbers, things make sense. When we get all cattywampus over at F.25. No, that is not a fraction. There was a dash. There was no bar. Okay. So, anywho, moving on, Craig lets Terry and Charles know that he's going to be going back and forth between a lot between the swamp
and the money pit.
Mm-hmm. He's very invested in the money pit. And Terry assures him they will give Craig a call as they hit the next target horizon on D11. I feel good about D11 because it starts with a D for Deidre. So this is Deidre's hole. I'm claiming it because next week on, it looks like they pull out some good stuff out of D11. And this week, we see a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I'm claiming D11.
Okay.
I'm putting my money down on this.
Your money in the money pit?
My money in the money pit is going on D11. This is winner, chicken dinner, Deidre's treasure. Over here in Vancouver, Washington.
So,
hey, did you see if we won the lottery yet?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too. Like, literally, I was just going to say something about it. I haven't checked. I haven't checked if anybody won yet, so it could still be going with an even bigger jackpot. But I think, like, what is it? Mega Millions is worth, like, last week it was worth $750 million. I'm thinking, I'll buy a ticket, and then if we win, we would probably get a take home about $400 million after taxes. Oh my gosh, we're going to be investors in the Oak Island mystery if this happens.
Legit buying a seat at the war room table.
So Steve said in a post on Facebook that he's like, see my boss's reaction to my proposed plan for a 230-foot deep, 200-foot wide big dig at the money pit costing $50 million. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if we have $400 million, we could pay for the big dig.
Steve, I'll spot you.
If we win the lottery.
If we win the lottery,
it's happening.
We're go. And you know what? As we see in future stuff, I think Steve's right. Because I think that's where this wood comes up. I think deep in D11 is where we're going to get the stuff. And that's where we need to do our big dig. I'm all in, all the chips.
Well, if nobody won, I'll have to buy another ticket. Because then we'll have even more money and more resources at their disposal. Because we're just going to be like, hey, we didn't have this money yesterday, guys. If we had, 1% of it, we're going to be fine. Let's get the Oak Island thing solved, right?
Do you think Billy will teach me how to use an excavator if I give him a little tip?
Heck yeah, he will. You're like, Billy, I'm a new investor in your company.
I know. Do you think Dave will let me blow up a piece of the island with him with some dynamite?
He'll let you do whatever you want if you have that much money. If you show him enough gold shiny things and bring him a couple cases of Crown.
Oh man,
you're good.
What a wonderful day! If I could show up at Dave's house with some Crown and dynamite, I could die a happy woman. I might die, but well, you never know. Put dynamite in my hand and some Crown. I mean, it'd be a good time.
Calm down. Let's win the lottery first, okay?
So I can buy the dynamite and Crown.
Yeah.
Oh, it is one early day.
It is early.
Okay, so money pit again. Let's see here. Craig.
Yeah, so let's go back to the 10X drill site because that's where they have a sorting
we
table.
Have another money pit section.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go back.
It's
to the money pit
a very important part here.
All right, let's hear it. Go for it.
Gee. So Craig comes back to the money pit because Terry and Steve had let them know of a potentially new development in the drilling of D11.
Yeah, just like Craig requested. He's like, hey, let me know. And so guess what? They let him know.
Yeah, this is a big deal. So Terry lets Craig know that at the horizon where they have seen tunnels, the 100 to the 105 area, they've encountered some encouraging things.
Yes.
The
darkened dirt.
Yes. Yes.
That should have been a clot-worthy moment.
Right? Well, they've got some darkened dirt. Could it be?
Yeah.
Terry said there was no real cribbing in it, just darkened material and clay, and everything stirred up and obliterated, and a few slivers of wood.
That's what they want.
This is what we're looking for, guys. They don't know if it was searcher or placer or even what type of tunnel it is, if it's a flood tunnel, but this is the good level for digging tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Steve says, this is a mystery to us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what we're in right now. And then
bam! New sausage.
Another sausage hitting the table.
Bam! Put another patient on. Choice sausage. Here we go. Let's open up her casing.
144 foot to 152 feet.
Oh, isn't that where Craig says we keep seeing things?
Yeah, so it's only about 8 feet, not a 30-foot anaconda this time.
Yeah, I don't care. This is a shorter sausage, and I'm all in.
Yeah, so Terry's looking at it real closely. He says it's darkened. Steve asks what that means, and kind of what we said.
Probably for our benefit, because he's like, I've seen a lot of choice sausage.
Steve knows.
Steve
just letting the people know.
He's like,
good job, Steve.
I'm going to tee up Terry so you can tell people what this darkened material is.
Guppy. Whoa. There you go. Thanks, Guppy. Appreciate it.
Gup till thank you. Instead of a guarantee.
No, it's like a thank you from the White House. Our last name is White. You know, at the top of the show, Deidre says Deidre and Dustin White.
Could it be?
We live in the White House. Just saying.
Even if our house isn't white.
Well, it's still white.
It is.
All right. Yeah. So Terry says that this section, I don't know. You talk about
it. Okay. So they've got the sausage up, and he's kind of going through it bit by bit. Right?
Yeah.
And he says, okay, so we have this darkened material.
Sure.
And this is where Steve's asking what that means. And Terry replies that the discoloration can mean that this material has been around wood, which is encouraging for us, right? Because we want to see that. We want to see the wood cribbing if there is any. And that's one of the things that Craig keeps saying is interesting, that around that depth, we are getting that discoloration that indicates we could have potentially been around wood. And as the wood decays, it's going to change color. Just kind of like when you see iron in the ground, and oftentimes around it has that. Yeah, it stains it. The wood's going to do the same thing. And that's what we're seeing here is that discoloration. Okay, that's great. And sorry, he also said that we were also seeing that discoloration at the 97-foot level and the 101-foot level in the same sausage.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at something deeper with the discoloration and something higher. So are we looking at flood tunnels? Are we looking at one being a flood tunnel, one not being a flood tunnel?
Could it be?
And that's where Craig in his little interview section is talking about the 150 feet. Again,
it's that weird section.
It is that weird section where we're seeing stuff.
Odd things going on, he says.
Mm-hmm. And he said, I think we need to take it deeper.
Drill.
I feel like Guptill wants to take it deeper.
Yeah, 230 feet deep is what Guptill wants to do for 200 feet wide.
Per the, what do I want to say? The drilling down or whatever before the season aired, I'm thinking, why does he say 230? I'm thinking they get some sweet stuff around the 230 mark as they keep.
That's so deep.
So
this is crazy.
It is crazy. And I think Craig agrees. And he says, keep going. Maybe we've collapsed deeper than what we realized.
Well, if there's like a cave-like system or something down there, I mean, stuff can fall a long ways.
Well, with the solution channel in there, like, do we know exactly how deep it is everywhere? It's going to be constantly changing. And think about all the shaking on the surface and the vibrating. And
there was a collapse, and they actually buried it at the money pit site, but now it's over in the mega bin.
Oh my gosh.
It moved that far away.
Where we're literally chasing it.
Yeah, that would stink.
That would be a bummer. Hopefully it's not a downhill slope to where we go next. Steve says that they're just a couple feet off of OC1. I'm starting to think he's a big fan of OC1. And so that's
why he decided to join the table. They're like all drilling these spots. He's like, meh, I'm going to go do some work over here, guys. I got my own stuff to work on. But then they get close to the OC1. He's like, I think I'm going to come hang out with the Keeper of Secrets and the Rock Hound over here.
Right. Yeah. He's like, you're getting to to the stuff I'm interested in. But that's why he thinks this core is so important. And he says they need to keep going deeper.
Go deeper, dude.
Do it.
All right, so that's the end of the money pit for this episode. Now we can move back to the 10X drill site, because that is where they're doing some sorting and some looking through old spoils of OC1.
Also
with
correct.
The Jack 6000 sorter.
The Jack 6000 sorter edition.
Yeah, so we had Michael John again from Gearhart Property Improvement.
Yep, and he found leather last time.
Mm-hmm. And John Winters, also from Gearhart Property Improvement. So literally, like, this is in the thick of the pandemic, people. Billy's company may have been hit, and there's not much for these guys to do. Guess what? He puts them to work on Oak Island.
How do I get hired Billy. By Gearhart Property Improvement?
Probably have to live in Nova Scotia.
Well,
no. Probably have to live in Nova Scotia. What, you think they're gonna? You want to open up a West Coast branch of Gearhart?
I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, how do I move to Nova Scotia? But let's do that.
I know. Then you can kind of run that operation from this side.
I'll run this joint. I can like teleconference with Billy every day.
Dream come true.
I just found my dream career.
Billy, you here? Make it happen, bro. Okay.
Bro. Well, Billy's not a bro type.
He's got a lot of businesses, though. So, I mean,
he might need a U.S.
branch.
Yeah. I got you, Billy.
Yeah. All right. So we have these guys, Michael John and John Winters. John.
Let's
just call him John.
We got John and John.
We got Jack and John over on the wash table.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too.
You really like to sing that.
I do. I'm a big fan.
Okay. All right. So these are the spoils that they were pulled out of OC1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That just goes to show you these spoils from last year
that they haven't been able to touch yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so Michael John, our hero from Gearhart, he's like
hero.
Maybe he's like the Robin to Billy's Batman.
The Robin to Billy's Batman. I like that.
This guy's finding stuff. He's my hero. Okay. So Michael John pulls a spike off of the table. It's got a rose head on it. And Jack's looking at it. Jack's very impressed. And he's like looking at it and he's like, this could date with the old wood found. So maybe early 1700s.
Yes.
And Jack said it would be interesting to get some dates on it to compare with the ones they have found in the area. And he said, you know what? Let's get Laird over here.
Yep. He's going to text Laird, get him to come take a look, because you never know.
You never know. So Laird shows up, gives him the spike, and he says, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I love that Jack's like...
He was a little more excited this time than with the leather.
I know. That's so sad. I think I would have been more excited about the leather than a spike.
Well, the leather looked too new.
No, it wasn't new. It just didn't look like from a book, he said.
No, I think
it was like it's a shoe.
Yeah, but I think it's like not. I don't know. I thought I got
new
the impression.
Is a relative term.
I got the impression it was like it could have been from searchers more recent.
It's not a Nike.
No, not a Nike. Like I'm talking like maybe like anywhere from it could have been like Roosevelt time, like 1911 ish.
So new.
It's newer than 1700.
That's why I said Oak Island new is a relative term.
You're right.
I like the Jack's like, let's play a game, pretty much. And he's like, let's see if you point out what I pointed out. And Laird's like,
something I would do.
I know. And then Laird's like, I see your game, and I'm an archaeologist. I will raise you one.
Yeah.
So Laird, his first response is, well, it's a big spike. And I wrote LOL. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Iron, obviously. It's got a classic rose head, so we all agree on that.
And so Jack's like, ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner. You got it right.
You got it right. And I think he's just checking his work, hopefully. Jack says it didn't match any of the previous searcher spikes that he had remembered pulling up. And then he asks Laird if he has any idea about the date of it. Laird.
Yeah.
It could, in theory, because, that's how Laird talks in theory. He says it could clean up and to take a better look at it. Oh, sorry. It could go back into the early 1700s and you could clean it up and take a better look at it to get a good idea. You could also take it to Dr. Krista Brousseau, and do the chemical analysis.
Ding, ding, ding. That's another winner right there.
And you know what?
That's exactly what they do.
That's what we do.
But before we get there, we do have to stop at the Serpent Mound.
Let's just stop there then.
All right. What happened on the Serpent Mound?
Well, we have Gary, Aaron
Gary
Taylor.
with a plethora of archaeologists.
I know. It's weird. He's surrounded. We have Liz Michaels and Miriam Amirault. I almost had it right.
I'm getting it now.
Okay. So Claude Worthy reminds us of the charcoal that was found 2 weeks ago that ended up dating to 1320 to 1440.
It's pretty impressive.
Bananas. And Aaron lets Gary get into metal detect in the area where he was just working in. It looks like they've literally taken a section out of the Serpent Mound. They've cut the snake in half. And Gary doesn't find anything in that particular spot in particular.
Particularly,
I'm particularly a fan of that word, I guess. And he moves a little bit further away from the feature, thinking maybe it was just in that last bucket that they pulled up. And he gets a hit. Pulls up what looks like to be another older spike.
It's got a real pointy end.
Kind of short.
So, Aaron asks Gary if that end might be broken. And Gary's like, it was made that way, mate. And I'm thinking he's saying, dude, you should know that. That's what I got from Gary there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't know. I got more of a they have different expertise.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he's looking for Gary's opinion. And they're thinking,
maybe, he could have just been saying that for the benefit of the viewers on the show too, kind of like what you said Steve Guptill was saying earlier. Because they know for doing a solid. They know that the cameras are there, and it's not scripted, like we said earlier, obviously, but it's they still
have to educate common folk.
There you go.
And Gary points out, based on the size of the nail, I mean, you can figure it had some kind of decking around it.
Yeah.
It's shorter. And it looks like a deck nail.
It does.
That's what you would use that for. It's not going to be holding something substantial.
Correctamundo.
It does look a lot like the one that just came off the spoils table.
OC1, yo.
OC1. Right. Let's say original money pit. I'm just throwing it out there.
Could be.
And then we took those spoils up towards said Serpent Mound.
We'll get there.
Could it be?
So they take both of those spikes that you just mentioned. They sent them to Dr. Krista Brousseau, just like they said they were going to. And then so they got some results back. And we have a new war room meeting to discuss.
Yes.
Rick, Marty, Alex, Jack, Aaron, Miriam, Gary, Peter. It's
Doug.
A full war room.
Yeah, it's...
Did I say Doug? I missed Doug.
I thought you missed Doug, but either way, either Doug was said twice or he was said once. He wasn't missed.
He's said 5 times now. So, all right. So they're gathered around the table to talk to Dr. Krista Brousseau from St. Mary's University about her analysis of the 2 spikes found on the island. One from the OC1 spoils, like you said, and one from the Serpent Mound, like you also said.
Oh, look, like I said.
All right. So she said, okay, looking at these spikes, okay, the one with the rose head, because the other one didn't really have a rose head, did it? It's kind of like...
I thought it did. I thought that it looked like it did.
Okay, well, she said that the way that it was constructed was definitely man-made, not like a machine-made spike. So, check. That's good. That's really good.
Yep. Square nail, heavily corroded, 8 centimeters in length.
Yep. And then she had, her analysis said that it was wrought iron, and it was what?
Sorry. No. So it had no manganese. It contained 0.5%. So almost no, what is that? Phosphorus.
Manganese.
Could it be? Yeah. The style of spike is consistent with a
pre-1840.
Yeah, I wrote that wrong.
Yeah, so it was definitely made pre-1840, so that's good. But it's consistent with the pre-1790 stuff they've been finding.
Yes.
And very similar to another artifact that they had found in the that they had found on the island. So.
Which I think is the one they found in OC1, but they didn't particularly mention that. She says it's almost identical to the one that they found in OC1.
Yeah.
And Gary and Jack are pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you be?
I don't know.
They're the guys that found those. They got to be excited. That was true. Like one of the times they found something. They found the same thing, but they were split up from each other. What?
Say what? And she says, since the two artifacts, those two nails or spikes, where we want to call them, have almost the exact same phosphorus level, it's like they were made at the same time.
Likely.
Likely.
Yeah. Yep. And Jack says, they look similar, and maybe the same blacksmith made them both at the same time.
And Doug brings up a good point. He's thinking about logistics. Let's say that the depositors were here and they would have had to prepare for this, right? Just like Rick said earlier, was they would have had to plan, they would have had to have an engineer, and they would have had to have all this stuff.
Sure.
So it would make sense for them, while preparing, they would have a blacksmith make up a bunch of nails for them, right? Just do a batch. We'll take them with us. We'll use them. And he asks Dr. Krista Brousseau if there's a way to tell if the two spikes are definitely related to each other, because we know that's going to be giving us really important information if it is. She says yes. You could look at the slag inclusion and the concentration of the elements in the slag to see if the same recipe might be used to produce these two spikes.
Secret recipes
written in code. Still my favorite Clotworthy. That and ice holes. Doug points out it would be very interesting because it would mean that the two sites are definitely connected somehow. The money pit and the serpent mount. Somehow they're connected if we can figure that out. And what I thought instantly was, we have found pieces of metal slag in the money pit. I'd be interested to know with any of the slag if it would match as well. If you could do an analysis that would link that all together. I mean, it would just be it'd be like a trifecta of linking that all. I don't know. I just kept thinking about metal slag. They've got to have some laying around to connect them.
Yes.
Likely. I want them to send the metal slag in. That is all.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Send in that slag. Send in the slag.
Send in the slag. And the nails. Yeah. And Marty says, maybe we are indeed looking at the spoils from the original money pit, at which we're talking about. How else is the nail the exact same as the one from OC1?
Yep. You've been kind of stuck on that ever since. You won't shut up about it.
I know. And my other thought is, if that's the case, and let's say a nail was there, what if we find like piece of paper or something in the serpent mound? Like, what if the serpent mound has more little pieces of artifacts?
It could. Could it?
Maybe. Because it depends on whether or not the serpent mound spoils are from retrieving the treasure or from placing it. If it's from retrieving, which would surprise me if the spoils were from retrieving, then maybe there is something in there.
Yeah. But, like, if you're going to retrieve the treasure, you're probably not sticking around to fill in the hole.
No.
I thought. You just like, got it.
Unless you're reusing that
land.
Yeah. Now, it would make sense to find a nail up in the serpent mound if these are original money pit
Depositors?
spoils.
Oh, spoils.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. From the depositors, because it's more or less their dump site of the stuff they didn't need anymore.
More or less.
And that's how you conceal in plain sight what it is you were doing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Marty says, at least let's analyze it all.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's find out. Let's find out these things. Aaron says that they need to remember to focus on if it's pre-searcher. If it's... He says, okay, so before they came back from commercial right at this point, they had a little clip of this where Aaron said, well, it's depositor. And they kind of took it out of context a little bit. I thought that was funny.
It made me laugh.
Because then they immediately let you in on that afterward when they have him say that again, but it's in its context. I don't know, it's pretty funny.
But I like that he's like, okay, we really need to focus pre-searcher.
Yeah.
Or depositor or what? Who is this from? Kind of like what I was saying. Is this spoils from retrieving or depositing?
Yep. They need to know if all those things are linked, including the items in the road area, to know if they're all connected.
Yeah, if we're connecting the lots.
Connecting the lots. Say what? What's the name of this episode again?
Say what? Could it be connecting the lots? ... I
think we're connecting the lots here. All right. So at the very end here, Gary has to make another little quip.
And it is everybody's favorite new hashtag.
It should be anyway.
Can we use Billy's trowel?
Hashtag Billy's trowel.
Miriam says, absolutely not. And Aaron laughs at him.
Yeah, no.
No. Yeah. And I'm thinking, what if we put a trowel-shaped digger on there for Billy? Would it
I don't think it'll work as good.
Could he just do a little scrapage?
He could, I suppose, but no.
I
like Billy's trowel just being, his excavator scoop.
Yeah. Billy's trowel.
Yep. So Rick kind of closes out the meeting by thanking Dr. Brousseau and thanking everybody else. And then that's the end of the episode.
That is all the episode.
And we got through it. It was it was just packed with info. So
oh my gosh, I feel very full.
This might be one of our longest episodes of the podcast this year.
Yeah, probably will.
We're not done yet because we got something a little bit fun coming up in a minute. That you're gonna want to stick around for. Trust me. Don't go away. This is gonna be fun. All right, so let's talk about the next time on the Curse of Oak Island.
Okay, so there's 2 next time ons, but I'm just kind of gonna merge them together.
Yeah,
because we had the next time on that showed up directly after the episode or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we have one that's the current preview that's sitting on the History Channel. So they upload the preview
on the app.
Yeah, on the app. And I always like to go in there and check that out.
Yep.
So we know Gary gets a hit on his metal detector. He looks shocked. It's this gold piece we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Okay. This is we get some new shots of it, and that's exciting. And he's like, what? The look on his face when you pause it is just pure shock.
Because he knows if you find something like that on Oak Island, that's big.
Huge.
It doesn't get bigger. So
and it says it might actually be gold. And we see someone analyzing it. I think it's the numismatist that we had before.
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
Yeah. I didn't know that he was looking at that. I thought he was looking at that coin he found last week.
I thought he was looking. No, he was definitely looking at the gold piece because I remember pausing to look a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But he may have been doing both.
Probably both.
He could have been on the island to clean up the coin.
This gold thing has got their attention.
And they're like, excuse me, this needs to go to the front of the line here.
Yeah.
And because that's what I would do.
Yep.
And he says, the expert says this is more high end. Someone with money. It could have been from a secret box.
I don't remember hearing any of that.
Oh, I do. Trust me, I spent a lot of time.
I didn't, I only saw one of the previews, so it must have been in the one I didn't see.
Yeah, because this one was on, when he says that, was on the one right after the episode. Gotcha. I think you only saw the one that's currently uploaded.
That's the only one I saw, yeah.
Let's see here. I'm looking to see if there's anything else mentioned about that.
It's just super cool. I can't wait to see what it is and how they handle the find of it.
And Gary's freak out moment. Hopefully we get a gold dance. At the Serpent Mound, we see Aaron, and we're getting, and something about maybe we're getting remnants of the money pit.
Just like Marty said.
Yep. And it's just probably that we're digging deeper into that. Let's see here. At the money pit, we have Steve, Charles, Scott, and Terry with a large core out on the table. And Terry says, okay, that's wood well below any expected depth.
Wow.
That's what Rick said.
What?
Rick says, wow, that is an aha. And Craig agrees.
Sweet.
Yep. Let's see here. Did I have anything else about? But yeah, I was pausing, and the wood he pulls out looks very familiar. It looks like the stuff we were getting out of OC1. Very old. I mean, it was a solid chunk coming out of that core. Cool. I'm betting it's from D11 as they go deeper. Go D11. My chips are all in.
I hope they start a new one. It's like D10.
You're a jerk. But
it'd be better if it was D.25.
Oh my gosh,
9.75.
I will literally lose my mind if it's that location.
So Rick and Dr. Spooner pull up a huge log, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Billy is pulling up a huge tree right out from behind them.
Yes, this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm like, are we gonna avoid the fact that Rick and
Guppy
are carrying out a tree?
Yeah, but you said Spooner here.
But then there's another one where Rick and Spooner are carrying out a log, and then Billy's behind them with like the claw pulling out wood.
They don't stop working.
I didn't say they did. Of course
they're going to keep pulling up stuff.
All I want to know is, are we deconstructing the road and doing some dendro? Yeah. Or are they going to build a log cabin? For me, when I buy, some room at the war room table.
Yeah, don't know.
I think they're building my log cabin.
Shiny gold thing is what this next episode's really about.
This is about, well, no, it's about shiny gold thing and
wood
in the money pit. I think we're building up to this moment.
Okay.
This is, this is the time. This is where we're figuring out where we're putting that 230-foot deep hole in the money pit. And
we're using our lottery winnings to do it.
And we're using our lottery winnings to do it. And we get a shiny gold thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the good stuff are happening.
Cool. All right. So that's the end of that's something to look forward to. On Tuesday, that's gonna be exciting.
Oh, here's Jack saying, look, we found a road. Look, Mom, I'm on TV. I'm looking forward to that. That's it.
Okay, now that's the end.
Okay, now that's the end.
All right. Well, right on. Thanks for giving us your analysis of this episode.
And my tangents. Thank you for giving us your analysis.
Yeah, my takes were pretty good, I have to say.
Mine were better, but that's all right.
No, they usually are. All right. So do we want to do some Clotworthies?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do Clotworthies.
Do some Clotworthies.
Do you happen to know which Clotworthy won last week?
I do. Okay, shall I share?
Which Clotworthy one was the winner?
Here it is.
Charcoal, found within the serpent-shaped feature on lot 15, dating back as early as the 14th century.
Charcoal?
Could it be?
It could be.
It is.
Okay, so that was the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And fun.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right. So thanks to everybody that voted. If you want to, I'll say it now and I'll say it afterward, but if you want to participate in our voting for the Clotworthy Moments, you would go to our Facebook group, which you could get to by going to facebook.com/OakIslandPodcast. You will find, if you click on, I think, a tab that just says groups, there'll be a group that you can click on. You could join it, and you could be one of the people that votes on this very prestigious award of winning the Clotworthy Moment of the week. Okay,
the Clotworthy Moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here.
All right, and so you can also go to Twitter, and it's twitter.com/OakIslandPod.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, do we have contenders this week?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's see the first clot-worthy contender.
A wood structure? Could it be connected to the stone pathway? Or has the team uncovered a different and completely separate man-made feature?
Could it be?
That's a classic clot-worthy.
It is I like that. Classic clot-worthy.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, so that is going up against...
Did I just play which one?
You played the wood one.
Thank you.
There you go.
A tunnel found some 100 feet deep and right in the vicinity of OC1.
Right in the vicinity of OC1.
So we got a tunnel versus wood.
And there was some wood from that tunnel. So I felt like they were related. And
kind of like the spikes.
Yeah,
kind of like spikes.
Kind of like the spikes, or exactly like the spikes.
Yeah. So, anywho. All right. So, if you want to vote on this week's clot-worthy moment, like I said, go to facebook.com/OakIslandPodcast, find the group tab, click groups, go to our Could It Be an Oak Island group, and vote.
Vote.
All right. So, or twitter.com/OakIslandPod. All right, so we got that taken care of. We have something special coming up. Deidre's setting it up right now. That's why you don't see her looking at the camera anymore.
Where did it stop? Because you sent me that. No, all the good ones you sent me.
All right. While she's continuing to set this up real quick, and she's going to share her screen. If you want to get a hold of us through email, you can do so. And that's you go to or just email us at OakIslandPodcast@gmail.com. Okay. Also, if you wanted to, I don't have that pulled up. We have a voicemail line. If you remember, last week we had an amazing voicemail. Actually, we got another voicemail.
We did. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I'm going to play it.
Well, that's exciting.
No, you've already heard it.
Oh, I have.
But we didn't hear it on the podcast. We only heard it on the the trivia last week.
Got it.
So let me pull up that voicemail. 1 second. Here it is. Ready?
Okay. I love your recording, your answering recording. Pretty cool. Hey, this is Jeff Signeri. I just got your number from a friend. Just wanted to tell you I got your trading cards and they're pretty cool. I've got no other agenda than to tell you keep sending them, have fun, and keep rooting for me.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
So if you don't know what that's about, if you're a new listener to the podcast or something, that was a funny little thing that Jeff
It was kind of like a riff on what Marty said.
Yeah, well, because we got a voicemail from a very special member of the Fellowship of the Dig, and if you missed it last week, here I'm going to play it because why not?
Okay, I love your recording, your answering recording. Pretty cool. Hey, this is Marty Lagina. Got your number from a friend of yours, and I just want to tell you, I saw the trading cards. I think they're cool. I think they're just really fun. So I have no agenda other than to just tell you that. So there you are. Have fun. Keep rooting for us. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. So we had legit, like Marty Lagina, the big kahuna himself,
right?
Send us a voicemail, and we have our friend Amy S from Ohio to thank for that. So Amy, you're awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, and happy belated birthday. Her birthday was yesterday.
Aww.
Yeah. So Marty Lagina called us, and Deidre
kind of a big deal.
She fangirled out.
Yeah, I'm really bad at not being a fangirl.
Yeah, but then Jeff, heard that, and so he recorded his own voicemail that was just like it. Anyway, this is just funny. So thanks for doing that, Jeff. It made our week. And Marty, you made our week prior to that. So thank you. All right. If you want to call us on our Oak Island voicemail line, it's 360-836-4549. All right. We ready? I think you got enough. I think you're good.
Trying. I feel like I missed something.
It doesn't matter. You're good. Okay. You got enough.
Okay.
All right. So Deidre's about to share her screen with some something that came to our attention a couple of days ago. There was there's like this new app where you can make people into cartoon characters.
Yeah, I had never heard of it, and Dustin was telling me about it.
Yeah, and so I had a great idea. I'm like, oh my gosh, we should make the Fellowship of the Dig into cartoon characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically it transforms them into
like
Pixar or Disney princess style, I guess, is what the
That's
site
what the app
says.
calls it. Don't say that though. Come on. It's Pixar-like.
It is Pixar-like-ish.
All right. And so we made members of the Fellowship of the Dig into basically Pixar characters, and we're going to share that with you. We just want to give credit to the app. It's called Tune Me, and so
you should go on and do it to yourself.
Oh my gosh, I laughed harder yesterday than I've laughed probably in a year, maybe more. Like I was rolling around, like literally rolling on my back. Like I couldn't take it. And so this is going to be weird for podcast listeners.
Yes.
So we apologize, but you might want to either tune in to come to our Facebook page and watch this part of the video, or YouTube or whatever, however you find us, and take a look at these. We're going to describe them for the podcast people, but sorry that you'll not be able to view them.
Yes. And those of you that remember when the whole trend was going on, where you could get the app and make yourself really old.
Yep.
And it was pretty good. Well, this is the cartoon version.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
We're having fun. Okay.
All right. So you're going to share the first one?
Yeah, No.
What did you do? You broke it again?
Yeah, I'm always breaking things.
I know.
Okay. And then now I'm going to show.
So let's pull in Billy.
Billy. So I was really impressed of how well it did with Billy here.
Yeah. He is Pixarified.
He is Pixarified.
You know, his eyes are a little less squinty because they give you big eyes in these cartoons. But
they like opened up his eyes because he was like staring into the sun, and I was like, yes.
All right, move on to the next one.
Okay, let's see who's next.
Let's move through these kind of quick if we can. Oh, look, there's Guppy.
It came across really well. Yeah. I think some of these are double in here, so I apologize, guys, on accident.
That's okay. We were kind of rushing this part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, look, Guppy looks like a great.
Looks
Pixar
like a
Guptil
guarantee.
Yeah. Then we have
Alex is shocked.
He is shocked. We're gonna share these on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
too,
and remember, these are all done with that Tune Me app. So we got Tom.
Tom. Yep.
Looks a little shifty-eyed there.
Oh man! All right.
Whoa!
Hey-oh, there's Dave. Oh, there's Alex again.
He got teeth that time.
Yeah, I like that one.
Teeth and curly hair. I think that's a good one of him.
Yeah. All right. So then we had Dave Blankenship. I mean,
I love this expression.
He looks so good.
I know.
He looks like
I was really impressed with this.
You know, I think we need a Fellowship of the Dig, the animated series.
I think so.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Be fun.
Terry.
Like Terry. Looking pretty Terry. It's Terry Pre-Beard.
Pre-Beard Terry. Yeah. Yeah. He, I mean, it looks like Terry.
Yes, it does. Craig. Oh,
he looks so excited.
I got a couple really good ones that went through, Craig. I love this. This is Craig's like, I'm about to tell you how old this piece of wood is. Face.
He looks real excited.
He does.
Oh, there's another
Dave.
Dave looking good.
Yeah, I think I like the other one.
Charles, the Keeper of Secrets.
Look at how sneaky he looks.
Man, we need him in an animated series.
We do. He screams animated series.
Prometheus, get on it. We need the Oak Island, the animated series.
That's right.
Voiced by all these guys.
That'd be amazing. Laird's like, you want to dig up what with Billy's trowel?
Yeah, Laird looks a little concerned here.
He is concerned. They said Billy's trowel.
Yeah, that's fun.
Peter, looking like a youngster here.
Yeah, I mean,
extra smooth skin.
Yeah,
yes,
it's Peter Fernetti.
Oh, apparently I had 2 Peters in a row. Scott looks sad.
Yeah, but he looks like Scott.
But he looks like Scott. Not saying that Scott's always sad, but it definitely looks like Scott. He's thinking, I'm hurting cats again today.
This is fun.
Oh, another Steve, but this is the one where his eyes are closed.
Yeah, but it looks good.
Like the original picture, his eyes are closed, and then they gave him eyes. So, like, the cartoon looks great. right. But he does look upset and concerned though as a cartoon. He's like, how did this happen to me?
He's busy working, you know.
Laird's still concerned, so that's a double actually. There's Marty. A Marty. Yeah.
Marty's looking like he's ready to work.
Yeah, or
oh my gosh,
ready for a drink. Rick, you know how hard it was to get a decent Rick,
and this isn't like I think we have one that might be a little bit better.
Yeah, hopefully.
But Rick was particularly difficult.
This app had a hard time with him.
It just doesn't understand the brown hair and the white goatee.
Like it really
most of the time it doesn't have any facial hair. Like it just thinks something's wrong with his face.
And a lot of times there'll be a hat and it turns it into hair.
Look at
another
Billy.
Epic Billy shot.
That's really good.
Like I like this one a lot.
I like it too.
Epic Billy. Oh, is that all of them that I have?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we didn't share some of the ones where they looked terrible. But man, they were funny.
Oh man.
She had this one of Laird that it had me rolling around laughing so hard for a long time.
They just because it's an auto thing and this is not something we make. No. We throw it into the app.
Oh my gosh.
And don't have control over it.
It was so funny though. Oh my gosh. Man. I couldn't get enough. So we'll put up a post on our Facebook page and share it to our Facebook group today with these images here probably in an hour or so.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh. I'll put all the good ones I'll put up. Like if there was there was those two good Daves, I'll put both of those in there.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a few good Lairds and but there might only be like one or two Marty and Ricks. Marty actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
Rick was so difficult.
It's the hair issue. They put hair on Gary a couple times and that was hilarious.
Yeah,
but
it's really funny. So I don't know.
Oh, we thought that would be fun to share with you. We'll definitely get them up on our page and on the group and be able to do that.
Actually, so this one wasn't too bad.
Okay.
You don't like that one?
I don't.
Okay, well, you didn't show the Clotworthy. Why didn't you show Clotworthy?
Because did you send it to me?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I'm sure I did. Because we had a good Clotworthy too. Where's he at? Oh yeah, right here.
For the Clotworthy.
If you can see. That looks like Robert Clotworthy.
Sure does.
If he was a cartoon character. And there's one more I want to share. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Oh.
I made Deidre a cartoon, and she looks like a Disney princess.
I was like, who's that? Oh, it's me.
Look at my beautiful wife. She's great.
And I was like, it's probably because it's like more of a headshot photo. It didn't have all the blurry background, so it came out all right.
No, it's turning out real good. It's great. All right. So, is there anything else to do or share?
I don't think so. We will see you Tuesday night, right?
Or are we doing trivia on Monday or Tuesday this week?
No, we're doing it on Monday.
Okay. So Monday trivia, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Then we'll be back for Oak Island pregame.
Yes.
On Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know where to find us. And please email us, OakIslandPodcast@gmail.com. Please call us at that Oak Island hotline. I forgot what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Rewind it. You guys can find it. All right. So is there anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in this morning.
Tuning in.
And it was a fun time.
All right,
and guys. I'm glad we connected the lots together.
Well, yes, I am glad.
And it'll be a rocky road.
Next
time will be a rocky road.
All right, everybody. Have a good day. And until next time.
Could it be?